entrepreneur, and our Gitika Salujaji, she's like my elder sister, and she's also the part of our Sanghakaya Foundation. And last January, when we organized the conference, so she was the main MC. So she conducted very well in Hindi, Gujarati, and English. She is superb. So she's like my like ideal person. She's very good, very kind, and she's always ready to help for Sanghakaya Foundation, and she's always ready to uh, help any kinds of if I ask help from Gitika ji, so she's always ready. So she's also the entrepreneur, and last time I think most of the our members they saw one video on parenting. So Gitika ji, she was there in the parenting session, so she explained very well, and she's doing a lots of projects in Gujarat also. Morning we just talk about the how we can empower the women in Gujarat. So we are working on it. So two good people now with us. So Gitika ji, now it's your turn. So you can take a charge and you can start the session now.
Namo Buddhaya. Thank you so much, Banteji. You are one person, Banteji, wherein if you call, I can't say no. And thank you for making me always a part of your wonderful and activity and blessing all of us. And I clearly remember when you mentioned about Sonia Gomes, that she's going to be there. And I so very well remember her during our interaction in Ahmedabad during the same conclave conference which we were talking about.
Yeah.
So it is a pleasure again to interact with her today. And it's beautiful that two women are coming together to discuss about women empowerment, because I really believe that one thing is always there, empowered women can only empower other women. And today is the time when we are going to talk about how the women can actually empower the world, number one. Second, but simultaneously, it is very important to invest in women, in girl, because they are the one who will take the community further. It is always, such a common saying that when you educate a woman, you are not educating when you're educating a girl, you're not educating only a woman, but a family. But now in today's time, when we see the women like us, it's more not only restricted to family, but we are extending our support, our hand, our wisdom, our knowledge, and being a nice, you can call it as creating a wonderful synergy among all genders, so that women not only from the urban areas, but women from semi-urban, rural areas also feel strong enough to take care of themselves and women community around them. So today it's more about women-led world. And when you see the leaders around us, you'll always find that wherever there are women leaders, COVID situation is much better managed than anywhere else. So keeping that in mind, I welcome Sonia Gomes. And Sonia Gomes, today that we were discussing, especially about this rural women. And today when we are discussing about protecting women's employment, health, food security during the pandemic is of critical importance. Yet the COVID-19 outbreak has underestimated safety net provision safeguarding women's well-being. So what do you feel that what three things are important in policy reinforcement, especially during this lockdown period, when most of them were at home, and we know the kind of situation, some of them really enjoyed, but some of them have actually gone through a lot of troubles even during the lockdown time. And after unlocking, what do you suggest the government or the policy framing measures, what kind of measures would you like to recommend which will support Indian rural women?
Hello and namaste to all. Thank you so much for this wonderful invitation from Bante to this webinar. And I want to say hello and good evening to all of you in India, my heartland. And it was a pleasure to be in Ahmedabad in the conference. And thank you so much for being my host. It's really wonderful to see you again. And I want to give you congratulations for your wonderful work in ecology and for being an ecology warrior that is really needed in our world. So thank you very much for all your kindness, and wish a wonderful evening to India. So now let's start with your introduction and with your questions. Before we go through the three main points of what government can do or whatever, we need to understand some small points that can make the big difference. The first is the importance of women in leadership, because with this COVID-19 situation, we could realize, for example, that countries, many countries lead by women, they have very effective policies to go against COVID-19. They have wonderful results. And that brings a question. What is the difference between female leadership and male leadership? This is one question I would like our audience to consider and think about. Never forget, especially in Europe and around the world, many countries where women were leaders and presidents and prime ministers, they had wonderful results to go against COVID-19. This was one thing I wanted to go before I ask you a question. The second thing is the Indian situation. India for me is very dear to my heart. I can even say it's my second land. It's not my own land, but it's my heartland. So I live very deeply what is going on in India and in Nepal too. So the situation here with this COVID-19 issue and the pandemic and all the people that are passed away and suffering with illness that I immediately want to request prayers for. I am deeply sorry for all that is happening over there, and I'm deeply concerned with the situation, especially with women, because usually in this pandemic situation, women and children, they are the most vulnerable public. So I think India government is doing what is possible to go against this virus. Even distributing some food kits and rice, especially in villages. And that is precisely about villages that I would like to talk about. And rural areas in India and women from those areas that are very, very dear to my heart.
When we are talking about, thank you so much, Sonia, especially when we are talking about women, most of the women who are, when it comes to India, because the India which I know is more about urban India, and even in rural India, I've seen that the women as such have a very strong opinion. They are, and they are very hardworking. I see them as a very important workforce. They are not sitting at home. But if you see them working on the roads, whether and for the construction part, or in the farmland, or even in the case of certain industries as well, on the shop floor also, I've seen women working and working, I mean, shoulder to shoulder with men. There are certain people who are asking कि we should be speaking in Hindi, so I will try to translate a little bit in Hindi because I understand Sonia could not be, but हम जो बात कर रहे हैं वो ये बात कर रहे हैं कि हमारे भारत में औरतें बहुत strong है. हमारे भारत की औरतों का opinion बड़ा strong है और बहुत मेहनती है, काफी अच्छा हार्ड वर्क करते हैं. आप अर्बन मतलब शहर में ही नहीं, पर आप जैसे शहर से दूर भी जाते हैं तभी भी आप देखते हैं कि औरतें, आप देखो कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पे काम कर रही है, वो अपना बोझा भी उठा रही है, 3-3 मटके सर पे रख के पानी भी भर के लेकर आ जाती है, फार्म में काम कर रही है, सारा काम कर रही है. बट क्वेश्चन ये है कि उसकी वॉइस, who is there to listen to them and what do they want is one question. They are very, again Sonia, as I said, they are very hardworking. They are always there as one of the bread earner in the family. But question is, we need certain policies, we need certain framework wherein they can voice their opinion, wherein they can voice what they feel, where they can express what is the need of the day and what kind of skilling they required so that they can make their life better, not just by hard work, but by smart work. So what do you think in that case should be done?
Well, there are a lot of possibilities, and especially I'm going to talk about one or two topics that India is a very strong country. And yes, you mentioned a very, very important point because women, they work very hard in India. They are I can say, the foundation of a family, of a house, of everything. They sustain everything, the family, the work, they have strength. They have to face so many obstacles and everything, but sometimes they don't act with wisdom. The problem here maybe is wisdom and to work with the knowledge and with a knowledgeable way. So I think the first thing women should do, especially in remote areas, in villages, in the how can I say, not in big cities, because women from big cities, they have studies, they study. So, and many go abroad to study. So they are already developed, I mean, culturally and socially. But in the village, women are hard workers. They have everything. They have the foundations to be the greatest leaders, but they don't have the knowledge. And that's the opposite of what is happening in the town, in big cities. Women have the knowledge, but they don't have experience. So we could join this together. I think it's very important to create movements of women from the cities that are willing to go to the village to teach women how to be, for example, ecologically knowledgeable. Because women work on the land, they work on many things, but they need to learn to preserve their resources. They need to learn to work with their seeds, and they need to learn how to manage uh, the land, manage the seeds, so they can have their self-sustenance, self-sustains. So I think this was a very good partnership. We should maybe organize something with city women from Mumbai, from New Delhi, from Gujarat, Ahmedabad, and these women with studies, with knowledge, with degrees can go to village and teach, organize sessions to give these village women knowledge, workshops, empowerment, so they can know how to manage more effectively the resources they have.
So in that case, if we go a little more precise, if we try to be a little more precise, because when I'm talking about India, and India is a more country of agriculture now, because now if you see, it's more about, so we in India also, as you said, that we are also working very hard in creating the organic movement, grow your own organic food, convert from toxic and chemicals to organic lifestyle. And that is what I am an eco warrior movement, which I'm running, is all based on, where we are in fact learning from. In fact, I'll tell you, instead of teaching the rural women, we are learning from rural women how to grow our own greens in our own garden, in our own pot. So even with ladies with degrees, we need to learn from them how
Yeah.
to be self-sustainable with respect to our own kitchen resources that we need. Especially during the lockdown, we realized the importance, and that's how they can teach us. But
Yeah.
simultaneously, it's very important for them, that what we have realized is that they can grow their stuff, but they need right connect to market. So that's a bridge is required. There is a lot of things which they know, which should can be passed on to the rural, the urban areas. Simultaneously, they need a good market of their products. So I think the workshops with respect to, can you just give certain points on what kind of workshops can be done to bridge this gap? And it can be both the ways, I'm telling you, because we are learning from them and we might teach them something.
Yes, because honestly, and especially if you manage things from a Buddhist perspective, that's what I try to do in the humanitarian work I do, and also in my business. I try to manage with the Buddhist values, and all is interdependent. Of course, village women will learn from city women with knowledge. I'm talking about theoretical knowledge and many things that are important to develop the management aspect in a woman. But city women, they have a lot to learn from village women. As I was telling you, there is a nice point here. City women, they have the knowledge, but they don't have the experience. They need to go back to the roots. And village women, they have the experience, they have the roots, but they don't have the knowledge. So this is the point to meet together. So in this workshop, there is a fusion. In the village, they are going to learn how to manage, but city women, they will going to learn how to work with seeds, with agriculture, with the main point that is being self-sustainable, planting, and begin to learn that Mother Nature provides everything, that you are consuming a lot in the big cities and you are destroying a lot of things, that you can learn from the village women. We,
Sonia, in that case, what does self-sustainability mean to you?
sorry?
What is self-sustainability means to you? What is it? Why? How can you say we are self-sustainable? What do we do, or what can define self-sustainability?
Uh, Means for me, self-sustainability is to plant your own food, is to bring and take from earth all the resources that are needed and they are already there. But for that, you need to respect Mother Earth and to understand that those resources must be preserved and we must learn to work with them. So this means we need to be ecologically literate. And that is the problem in the village. Many times people are not ecologic literate. They do a lot of things. They work very hard, but they don't know how to be sustainable, how to manage effectively. This is a big point. So being self-sustainable, and especially in India, that has amazing resources, amazing earth resources, being sustainable is learning to plant your own seeds, plant your own food, and don't depend too much on many things that you are just used to buy and consume. This is the big point. This is how to be self-sustainable.
In India, Sonia, we are going for one aspect which we call it as vocal for local.
Yes.
So in that case, yes, we are doing it for a long time, and now we are trying to make people understand that you buy things which are grown locally, you support local farmers, you buy from local villages, local artisans, and people around you, and try to ensure that you don't have excess, but you are able to manage your needs from
Yes.
your area itself. I think that should be one of the important aspect of sustainability.
Absolutely.
And,
Even
and
more
what? Yes, please.
Even more important is to begin to think global with a G, means globally and act locally. Because, we live in a very selfish society. I think this virus showed us that we need to unite, we need to respect each other, we need to work together and to cooperate. So if you think globally in a wall and you act locally, you just do in your small garden, you just do by yourself, then you can implement a lot of changes. So this is the big point, and you are absolutely right.
Especially during this time, Sonia, it has been observed after the China and all that India is actually looked as a very important country when it comes to industries, when it comes to export. So when you talked about local, I do believe is think globally, act locally. That's one aspect, and then work locally and export globally. You know, so in that aspect, I don't see much of the women participating or much of the women having much knowledge when it comes to their products, because now in India, especially where I live, there are a lot of homepreneurs. There are ladies who are taking care of their house as well as they are taking care of a business, maybe in a small way, but with a big vision to grow big. Now the question is, growing big is from you're moving from your own city to selling your product in your state, then country, and exporting it as well. So how do you see the export opportunities, and what can be done so that the women actually have that confidence or develop the skills for the documentation and to connect globally? It is not so easy to say, I want to export. You need the right connect, you need the right market.
And that is another big point. And one area which India is very strong, that is high technologies. India is one of the countries that is most developed in high technologies and new technologies. It's not Silicon Valley, but it's very near to be. I think you have great engineers and people working with technology. So I think
Silicon Valley has Indians, Sonia. Silicon Valley has Indians. So in fact, India has, Silicon Valley has India.
Absolutely. So that is the point. For example, I think it's very important to take that wonderful resource that India has and knowledge from the great high technology people to develop some apps, some internet resources to go to the villages and rural areas so women can work with high technologies. For example, apps are very intuitive. I'm sure many women will learn very easily how to work with that. And with that, it will be very easy to export many things. Even they can do their own handicraft and many things that are very valuable locally, but they are very interesting globally. So they can do a lot of export, but they have to communicate. And in our days, communication is made online. And we see now we are talking online. I'm in Portugal, you are in India. We are using this amazing opportunity to communicate. So why don't these women intuitively and slowly don't learn to work with technologies? And why the wonderful people in India that work in technologies don't make a special program to rural areas to develop the better quality sign of the internet so they can have good access, and also some important apps to develop their products, their own production, and so they can communicate to the world.
True. Basically, what I have been observing is the way people are being using WhatsApp and Facebook to even promote their products. So the women are very quick in learning technology. Initially, they used to take helps of their family members, their son or their husband, but now they have themselves started learning them, and women are helping each other, and that's the best way. Wherein, but the problem where which comes into picture is the right market. When it comes, so that is where I think the work needs to be done, wherein they need to be connected to the right market. And that is where I mentioned to you that instead of being hardworking, they need to be smart working. So yeah, so though it's easy to post on WhatsApp, it is easy to post on Facebook, but simultaneously it should go to the right audience, global audience. So that is where I think the what do you think about public-private partnership taking playing role in it? What
Yes.
do you think how public-private partnership can play a role in it? Because it's I'm telling you, because I being in India and being so connected with the women around here, because I have so many groups where women are actually trying to promote their business. But what I really feel sad at times is that they are promoting among each other only, but they need the right global audience where their products can be seen. And if they're in that case, if public-private partnership, how that can be useful, especially, and it talks both about rural India, because rural women are also very smart on WhatsApp and Facebook. You'll find their Facebook account as well, and Insta account as well. So how can we use those online, and how public-private partnership can be useful to connect them with the right audience?
Yes, that was, for example, one of the measures I would suggest. And I give as an example Portugal and European countries, because in here, for example, in Portugal, we have many public-private partnerships. There are a lot of private companies that work with the government and what we call in the business social responsibility, because companies, they feel, and the economy begin to understand that they need to work with the governments, and governments also begin to understand that they need to work with the corporations and companies. So it's a hand-to-hand situation. For example, here we have a lot of this, and I think in India will be great. Big companies, for example, want to be social responsible and act for the world, even for their customers, and show to their customers that they are helping their women, they are helping their people, they are helping their villages, they are being ecologically literate. This is very important. And many companies today, also in Europe, they have a lot, they care a lot with this, with the environment, with being ecologic, sustainable. So I'm sure there are a lot of big companies in India that would be very happy to cooperate and to have something to support, not only financially, because support doesn't need to be only financial. It must be with skills, with knowledge. So in these big companies, you also have skillful women working. So they can go, and also they can promote like a bridge between the right audience, between the right public. That's why I think it's very important to begin to create a partnership and something that brings city women and village women together. after all, they are all women. It doesn't matter if you are in the city or in the village. Knowledge and skill are different, but it's women. And as you said, women support women. But of course, these private partnerships are very important, even for, I believe, for development of economy in India. This is going to be very important because we need women in India to be motivated to create their own business. Because it's going to be very difficult situation with the work, and even in the cities many women, they will lose their jobs, I'm sure, because that is what is happening all around Europe, for example. And you need to be creative, you need to know how to create your own business, and for that the private public partnerships are very, very important. So you can have resource and support from the government, for example, in tax area, in the starting a business and loan area. And also you have the private support to resources, for example, giving you the right material to start your business and invest in you and your skills. So this is, I think, very, very important to implement. Yes.
The government of India has specially done one specific thing, and especially certain other corporates also, when it comes to, they have created women health groups, WHGs we say,
Yes.
wherein a lot of women are making masks at home. They are also taking care of making gloves and masks from sitting at home. They have been provided this help, and that is how they are able to take care of themselves as well. Those who were not working, in fact, Sonia, I would like to really, I'm so happy and so proud to say that the women who were not working before in India have started working during and after the lockdown to support their families, and they're upskilling themselves in a way wherein if a right push is given to them, I'm sure they are doing wonders. And in fact, though they have taken the lockdown much better when it comes to when the salaries have gone down, they are being very positive. There are women groups. There are more of the groups in the women who are supporting each other and lifting them, creating a positive environment for them. And I think that kind needs to be, maybe it is in a small cluster, but as you said, I do agree with you that when we have such kind of 50 ladies together, and if they lift each other, even with the mood, mindset, develop their hobbies, sing around and create a jovial environment in the house and around, I think this too shall pass. And it's just a moment. But yeah, we should take advantage of this situation wherein certain things from the government, certain things from the community, certain things from people like you and us who are always there for the community, and religious leaders like Prashil Banteji, to guide and to get involved and to act as a connecting bridge among people around so that the right message is conveyed. On the passing note, Sonia, what would you like to share? On the last passing note, what would you like to share? Because a couple of people are asking in Hindi. I will try to translate in Hindi later on. But
Okay.
yeah.
I would like to share that that is very important to women to cooperate with each other, to women begin to share skills, to share knowledge. On one hand, village women, they share their roots knowledge, their ancestral knowledge, and city women, they can share their study knowledge and another kind of experience, life experience knowledge. But both of them, they are complementary, and it's very important to begin to start this approach with city women and village women. This is very important. Also, the private and public partnerships, I think, also very important to support women's business. And we should really take advantage of this spirit in women, that they are strong, they empower each other, they say this will pass, let's go, let's move further. Because women, yes, women are mothers, so they know very well what is to take care of a son or daughter, sometimes with lots of difficulties and obstacles, but a mother always keep going. A mother never gives up. So women never give up also. This is my message. Never give up. This will pass, and I'm sure India, as all the countries, India and Nepal, is going to go through a very difficult moment, as all over the world we are going through, but is going to grow and is going to be even better than it is now. I think this is going to have very positive affects in some way. And I believe that women will come out of this even more stronger than what they already are.
Definitely, because I always believe, don't, it's not just being women, but I always believe that they are emotionally much stronger than in the time of, especially in the time of crisis. If you're talking about fight and flight, they are ready to fight.
Yes.
So yes, so I think that is where they can actually be a strong support to the family, provided they are being listened, they have a voice where they can express. So again, it's very important for women to have a proper group where they can talk to each other and they can share and support each other. And and do you have anything particular project in mind wherein the country which you can represent and the country which we represent, we can collaborate somewhere around? It's not only about Indian rural women. This situation is pan, this is global. All women are globally in the same situation, whether it is India, Portugal or Nepal or US. So do you have something in mind? Though it can be, I can call it as very audacious, but yes, there's nothing wrong if you have something in mind to share. You never know who is listening and when it comes true.
Yes, to be very honest with you, I have something in mind that I would love to develop in India and Nepal with the village women to implement to export and help them to be self-sustainable and help them out to be managers of their own work and their own lives. And it is related with my area. I would love to create a brand with Indian handicraft clothes, with bamboo and other wonderful resources that India has. Because for me, India has a lot of earth resources and, for example, seeds. That is something that has no value. And seeds is something that we should really share, we should really plant, and for example, we should really take advantage of, and we protect our environment. So I would love to create a brand and have some handicraft and like handbags and dresses and a lot of beautiful things with the Indian colors and Indian things done by rural women from, for example, Himalayas and other areas. And then we can export all over the world and send the joy of India, because India is joyful, colorful, beautiful. So why not?
Definitely. You can always connect with me for that, and I'll be the source for you for all those aspects. And on this note, any specific question? I'm sorry. हम लोग जो बातें कर रहे थे वो बातें इंडियन वुमेन की कर रहे थे कि इंडियन वुमेन जो है, हमारी भारतीय नारी जो है, वो इतनी स्ट्रांग है, इमोशनली भी बहुत स्ट्रांग है कि कोविड के वक्त, ये पेंडेमिक के वक्त वो हमेशा पॉजिटिव रही है। और उसने हमेशा खुद को ही नहीं पॉजिटिव रखा, पर पूरे घर को पॉजिटिव रखा है और सब लोगों को। और एक चीज जो मैं बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट समझती हूँ कि जो औरतें आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ एक कम्युनिटी बनाए, जहाँ पे आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ बात कर सके और आपस में एक दूसरे को दिल की खोल के बात कर पाए, ताकि वो एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करे, स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम। छोटा छोटा काम भी काफी औरतें अहमदाबाद गुजरात की जो है स्पेसिफिकली, या इंडिया की भी है, वो सिर्फ घर संभालने तक नहीं रह गई है, उन्होंने अपना थोड़ा थोड़ा काम शुरू किया है, बिजनेस वुमेन बनना शुरू किया है, और अपना व्हाट्सएप की टेक्नोलॉजी है, फेसबुक की टेक्नोलॉजी, उस पर अपने प्रोडक्ट्स पोस्ट करने शुरू किए हैं। लेकिन एक प्रॉब्लम उन लोगों को आता है, वो राइट मार्केट का आता है। तो वो काम करने को तैयार है, लेकिन उनको ऐसा सपोर्ट चाहिए ताकि उनकी जो स्किल्स है वो बेटर हो, बिकॉज वो एक अच्छी स्किल्स है, लेकिन उनके पास क्या चाहिए? ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्किल्स चाहिए, मैनेजरियल स्किल्स चाहिए, marketing skills चाहिए, branding skills चाहिए, and how they reach the right audience market, वो that kind of skills are required. तो उस केस में अगर कोई पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप से या गवर्नमेंट की सपोर्ट से, अगर वो गवर्नमेंट के पास स्कीम्स है, ऐसी बात नहीं है, बट वो स्कीम्स उनके तक पहुंचती नहीं है उनके तक, तो ताकि वो उसकी एडवांटेज नहीं ले पा रहे, तो हो क्या रहा है? वो बहुत मेहनत कर रही है, लेकिन मेहनत का रिजल्ट्स में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए सपोर्ट चाहिएगा उसे, उस चीज को लेके। और क्या हम दुनिया में एक्सपोर्ट, आज हम इंडिया दुनिया में एक्सपोर्ट करने लायक कंट्री, लोग इंडिया की तरफ देखते हैं एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए, स्टैंड अप इंडिया, स्टार्टअप इंडिया एंड एक्सपोर्ट के लिए, आत्मनिर्भर की भी जब बात करते हैं, लेकिन सवाल ये आता है कि एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए वो तैयार है, पर उसे वो राइट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कौन सिखाएगा, मेथड कौन सिखाएगा, मार्केट के करीब कौन लेके जाएगा, वो सारे एस्पेक्ट आज एक सवाल के साथ हम यहाँ पे सोनिया जी के साथ हम यहाँ पे ब्रेक करते हैं कि ये सवाल है हमारे पास। अब इस सवाल का जवाब हम सबको मिलके ढूंढना है। हमें ऐसी कोई एक्टिविटी करनी पड़ेगी जहाँ पे हम इन वुमेन को सिर्फ नाम के लिए एम्पावर ना करें कि हम उसको सब कुछ करने देते हैं, बट सही तरीके से एम्पावर करें कि उसे वो कॉन्फिडेंस हो, वो सेल्फ बिलीफ अपने में हो। It's very important, Sonia, that women should feel confident, should have a strong self-belief that she can do whatever she dreams of.
Absolutely.
And that is where I think all of us needs to work together. So we need to have something concrete and just not talk about it.
Absolutely.
So any ideas from the people who are there in the, any questions? I am seeing the chat room. मैंने हिंदी में आपको काफी चीजें बताई, but yeah, आपने सही लिखा है कि I learned import export. How can significance of women empowerment as globally? Rural women are making domestic products, but they are not getting market, and also they are not getting good return. What can be done for this? यही सवाल है जो हमने discuss किया already.
Yes.
Please give details of the mentioned handicraft as in with respect to manufacturing to marketing. आप आज तक क्या डिटेल मांग रहे हैं, मुझे समझ नहीं है, आपने चैट में डाला है. I think Sonia has already.
Hello.
हाँ जी. Yes, yes. I think people were looking for what kind of exactly handicraft. Where are you looking for? What kind of handicrafts
Okay.
you are looking for, or any specific project which is
Yes.
there in your mind, which
Yes.
can be done in collaboration?
I,
I think your ideas will take shape.
okay. Yes. I have an idea of specific handicraft because you already have a lot of things in Europe, for example, that comes from India, the bags and this with the elephants and that. I'm not talking of nothing of this. I'm talking about using the local resources and the local materials to do different things with design. And for example, I'm sure there are a lot of people in India, especially young people, the youth, that are designers and they don't have the chance to show their work to the market. So they can do it freely. They can do a partnership. They offer the design, and in the village, they offer the materials and they work together. And when they sell to Europe, for example, they both will win because people will know that this is designed by this person and done by this community. And also we can include this in fair trade. In Europe, we have fair trade. We can include this and create a specific fund for women and to support women because somebody wrote something very important there. They wrote that village women, they are doing work at home. They are doing their housework and this everything. Yeah, absolutely. So that is also something that we must think of.
I think when they are saying that they are working at home means also means that apart from household work, they are also developing their products. They are making them sitting at home
That
because yes.
That is the point. If they have the specific resources, for example, these machines to do and clothes and everything, they can at their own they can do it. But they need design. If they don't have particular design, then you will not be different from others. That is why I would love to create a brand so you can differentiate and then go to the particular and go to the market, to the right audience. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for taking interest in India and Indian women, and especially Indian handicraft and agriculture. And I'm sure this time when you come, do connect, and I'll show you a much bigger India, wherein a lot of things can be explored, especially between the collaboration between two countries, two nations, and looking, because that is what is now. We need to have a boundaryless world, and and we are moving forward towards boundaryless world actually. so
Yes.
that we are in the same time frame. So thank you, Bante ji, Prashil Bante ji. Over to you. Thank you so much for introducing both of us today again, and we were able to share. I'm sorry, I was trying my best to हिंदी में समझाने की साथ खास बात हो रही थी. जो भी सोनिया जी कह रहे हैं उसको मैं हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट. सोनिया जी का कंसर्न ही था. हमने यहाँ पे कोई सोल्यूशन की बात नहीं की है. उन्होंने एक कंसर्न शेयर किया है. आज कंसर्न से बात शुरू हुई है, कल सॉल्यूशन पे भी आएंगे और ऐसे सही लोग इकट्ठे भी होंगे ताकि वो सॉल्यूशन को इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर पाएंगे. तो बंते जी, आपके सजेशंस आप बताइए, हमें गाइड कीजिए कि हम किस तरीके से ये चीज को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं.
गीतिका जी, मॉर्निंग में जो आपका जो डिस्कशन हुआ था, तो कैन यू इलेबरेट, और जो मॉर्निंग में हम लोगों ने जो बात किया था वो थोड़ा सा लोगों के
हाँ
साथ में
जी,
शेयर करेंगे. काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव था और काफी अच्छा था. प्लीज.
हाँ जी. मैंने बंते जी से खास कहा था कि मुझे एक प्रोजेक्ट जो इस बार जो मैं हाथ में लेना चाहती हूँ, वो ये चीज है कि अगर स्पेशली वुमेन को अगर कमाना है तो आज कोई भी जन 5,000 से 20,000 तक अच्छी तरह से कमा सकता है अगर वो राइट किस्म के एजुकेशन के थ्रू जाए. से बीकॉम करने से कुछ पैसा नहीं मिलता, लेकिन अगर आप बीएससी नर्सिंग कर लेते हो और थोड़ा और इंटरेस्ट लेते हो तो सैलरी है एनीथिंग फ्रॉम 15,000 टू 50,000 मिलती है. बिकॉज आज किसी के घर में किसी को नर्स की जरूरत है तो नर्स को भी अच्छी 20,000 से लेके, मैंने अपने घर पे नर्स को 54,000 सैलरी दी है 6 महीने के लिए. बिकॉज उसको शी वॉज एन ओटी ट्रेन नर्स और मेरी मदर इन लॉ को काम करना था. तो एक वो जो है आजकल जो इम्पोर्टेंट है, लड़कियों को वोकेशनल बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग देना बहुत जरूरी है. 4-5 चीजें ऑफिस में तो क्या होगा, कभी भी जॉब चली जा सकती है, लेकिन घर में हमेशा लोगों को स्टाफ, हाउसकीपिंग स्टाफ, सपोर्ट स्टाफ, हम सपोर्ट स्टाफ की आजकल लोग कोई सर्वेंट नहीं बोलता, सब उसको सपोर्ट स्टाफ बोलते हैं कि भाई घर में वो इतने उन पे डिपेंडेंट हो जाते हैं कि उनके बिना काम भी नहीं होता. अगर मेरे घर में एक बच्चा है मेरा, तो मुझे एक बेबी सिटर चाहिए, केयर टेकर चाहिए, जो मेरे बच्चे की सेकेंड मदर बन जाती है एक्चुअली. तो अगर उस किस्म की उसको सही ट्रेनिंग मिले एज अ बेबी सिटर, तो शी कैन अर्न एनीथिंग फ्रॉम 15 to 20,000 मिनिमम. अच्छे फैमिलीज के हिसाब से किस किस फैमिलीज में जाते हैं. ड्राइविंग का है, फार्मिंग का है, गार्डनिंग का है, माली का, आजकल माली भी चाहिए तो अच्छे इलेक्ट्रिशियंस हैं. इस टाइप का जो काम है, प्लम्बिंग का जो काम है, पार्लर में जो काम है. तो आज मैं बंते जी से यही बात कर रही थी कि मुझे एटलीस्ट इस साल 200 वुमेन ऐसी तैयार करनी है. कुक, आज मेरे घर में मैं खाना बनाती हूँ, लेकिन मैं एज अ कुक की तरह कहीं जगह काम करूँ तो मुझे थोड़ी स्किल्स और डेवलप करने की जरूरत है, थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस और डेवलप करने की जरूरत है. किस तरह उन घरों में काम होता है, किस तरह उनके घरों में अप्लायंसेस यूज होते हैं, किस तरह अप्लायंसेस यूज करके खाना बनाया जाता है, अगर उसकी ट्रेनिंग मिल जाती है तो मैं 4 घर में भी काम कर लूंगी तो 20,000 कमा लूंगी. सच कह रही हूँ कि आज 7,000 तो मिनिमम 7 से 8,000 सिर्फ पार्ट टाइम वाले लेते हैं. सुबह आके घंटा भर खाना बना के गए, शाम को घंटा भर खाना बना के गए. तो अगर मैं अपने घर के साथ साथ अगर 4 घर में भी काम करती हूँ तो मैं एडिशनल इनकम अपने घर में जनरेट कर सकती हूँ. बच्चों को बेबी सिटिंग में मैं ये समझा सकती हूँ कि बच्चों के साथ सही तरीके से काम टाइम कैसे स्पेंड करना. खाली बच्चे को खिलाना पिलाना संभालना नहीं है, बच्चे को किससे कैसी बातें करनी है, उसके डेवलपमेंट, चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट को अंडरस्टैंड करना, उसके ब्रेन के डेवलपमेंट को अंडरस्टैंड करना, उसको किस किस्म की रिलीजियस बातें करनी चाहिए, क्या थॉट्स होने चाहिए, कैसे मैं बच्चे की बीमारी में उसको संभाल पाऊं, कैसे उसको हैंडल कर पाऊं. बिकॉज आजकल बहुत फैमिलीज में वर्किंग मदर्स है तो उनको ऐसा सपोर्ट स्टाफ की भी रिक्वायरमेंट. और आप मानोगे नहीं, ये सपोर्ट स्टाफ बहुत अच्छा अर्न कर सकता है ऐसी सिचुएशन में. एनीवेयर फ्रॉम 5,000 to 20 तो मिनिमम है. सो ये चीजें अगर हम ट्रेन कर सके और उनको ऐसी लेडीज को ये स्किल्स डेवलप कर सके, 2-3 महीने की ट्रेनिंग रहती है. मैं बनते जी को कह रही थी कि अगर गवर्नमेंट के साथ अगर हम सर्टिफिकेट भी उन लेडीज को दिला सके कि इसमें ये लेडीज ट्रेंड हो गई है, तो वो सर्टिफिकेट उनके लिए बहुत काम आएगा. और वो ऐसे एजेंसीज भी हैं जिनको लेडीज फैमिलीज कांटेक्ट करती है फॉर सच सपोर्ट, और ऐसे एजेंसीज के थ्रू उनको कंटिन्यूस काम भी मिल सकता है. और अगर आपके पास अच्छा नेटवर्क है तो आप ऐसी एजेंसीज भी बना सकते हो, खुद की एजेंसी भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. सो ये सब भी चीजें जो आज की पोस्ट कोविड में बहुत जरूरत है. हम ऑफिस की तरह ना देखें, लेकिन हम घर की तरफ देखें तो हर एक को जरूरत है घर में सपोर्ट स्टाफ की.
एक्चुअली गीतिका जी, और ये प्रपोजल मुझे काफी अच्छा लगा कि विमेन्स को हाउ वी कैन empower the women through this occasional courses. It's really good idea, and we will surely will work on it. So next month I'm planning to come Gujarat, so we will give this proposal to some of our bureaucrats or to the government also, and we look forward how we can go ahead. Yeah.
पंकज जी, एजुकेशन में आपको बेसिक 12th पास आप एजुकेशन इज इनफ.
Yes.
आपको आप जब कॉलेज में जाते हैं, कॉलेज के बाद हम कहीं भी के नहीं रहते, तो व्हाई डोंट वी गेट इनटू वोकेशनल कोर्सेज? व्हाई डोंट वी लर्न बेकिंग, यू नो?
Yes.
एंड बेकिंग से ही अपना काम कर सकते हैं, घर से अपना खाना बना के हम लोग टिफिन सर्विस कर सकते हैं. लोग काफी चीजें हैं जो घर बैठ के इमीडिएट अपने आसपास के एनवायरनमेंट को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं.
यस, और आजकल तो ऑनलाइन हो गया है, तो आपको सिर्फ घर पे बनाने का है. देन जो जोमेटो है या ये है, तो वो आके वो आपके पास से लेके जाते हैं, और जो इनको चाहिए उनको वो दे भी देते हैं. तो इट्स रियली
जी.
गुड आइडिया. और सोनिया मैम ऑल्सो शी एडवाइजेस वेरी वेल. सोनिया, आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन. So if suppose in some women they really want to do some work with the European Union, with the so do we have any kinds of means connectivity?
Yes, I think so, because even there are programs in the European community to develop some kind of partnerships with countries
Okay.
and situations like women in India and in Nepal and everything. Yes.
Wow,
There are
great.
programs for
That's
that.
really great. Yeah. Because in India we have some women like traditionally they are means making a lot of stuff, so we have a big market for the Europe also then.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it is good idea. Good idea. कृतिका जी, आप क्या बोलते हैं? What do you think?
हाँ जी.
What do you think? अभी इन्होंने बोला है कि in
हाँ जी.
Europe
आई थिंक देयर शुड बी यूरोपियन यूनियन ईयू के साथ काम हो सकता है, और आप बहुत अच्छा ब्रिज बन सकते हो उस चीज के लिए, क्योंकि
yes,
आप काफी लोगों को जानते भी हो, और यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद या इंडिया में we can develop an entire small group of people who can be core and who can connect with them, because basically जो प्रॉब्लम है कनेक्शन की, भंते
yes,
जी, प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है कि स्किल्स नहीं है या रिसोर्सेज नहीं है या करने की इच्छा नहीं है. कनेक्ट प्रॉब्लम आ रही है हमें राइट मार्केट के साथ कनेक्ट करने की, और मार्केट को उसकी नीड है, बट और
yes,
हमारे पास चीजें हैं, हम वो बस एक ब्रिज बनाना जरूरत है कि हमारी चीजें वहां पहुंचे कैसे और राइट दाम पे पहुंचे.
yes, exactly. And Sonia, what is the scenario right now? What is the scenario in European nations regarding the trade?
The scenario regarding the trade at this moment, because of the coronavirus situation, it's a bit complicated, because you still have some countries having a second round of this virus. Then sooner or later they start to close again the boundaries. So, and the airspace is not totally open. So yes, this is like an obstacle to the trades. So, but I believe that until the end of this year, maybe it's not very positive to start, because of this situation of the virus, and the airspace is not totally open, even in India. So it's very difficult in some areas to do some trade transactions and export. But soon, when the things begin to go down, and this virus can be more controlled, the situation, I think, and the airspace is again working properly, then I think it will be wonderful.
I
Wow.
think, Sonia, this is the best time to lay the foundation for it,
Yeah.
so that when the airspace is open, we are ready to fly.
You are very welcome to Portugal. Really very welcome. Really very welcome.
Yeah, yesterday, Sonia, I saw some videos on YouTube. That Portugal is very beautiful.
Yes.
Why don't you start some like a tourism business with
Yes.
Indian women? So it will be good. What do you think, Gitika ji?
I tell you very clearly, there are many women whom I know are into travel agencies.
Wow.
They are running travel agencies, and now the another Sonia, the another thing which is coming so well is rural travel tourism.
Yeah.
So from the urban areas, people like to go to the rural areas and have and enjoy the life with them. So the rural tourism is really picking up very well. Even 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, they like to stay in a rural house and live with them as a part of their family. And that so that is also picking up very well. If I come to Portugal, I would not like to be the city, but I am always a person who is in the countryside and enjoy the countryside.
Absolutely. And you have
So
wonderful side areas here in Portugal. Amazing places, amazing. Portugal is very small, but it's a very beautiful country indeed. We have sea,
Okay.
beach, we have countryside. Very good. You are very
so
welcome.
even
Yeah,
हाँ
Sonia,
so
then we'll make a one
Bante
plan to visit
हाँ
your.
बंटी जी, लड़की मैं आपको ये बता रही हूँ कि मैं बहुत सारे वुमेन को जानती हूँ जो घर
Okay.
से बैठ के भी इतना अच्छा एक्सप्लोर नेट को यूज कर, जैसे सोनिया सेड की भी टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करना चाहिए। वो
Yes.
टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज कर रही है, ईमेल्स कर रही है, कॉन्टैक्ट डेवलप कर रही है और बहुत अच्छा टूरिज्म प्लान बना के, पैकेज बना के सबको दे रही है। एंड इट
Wow.
इज फैमिली पैकेज, कम्युनिटी पैकेज एंड ऑल वुमेन पैकेज ऑल्सो, कि 15 वुमेन अकेले भी घूमने निकल जाओ तो उनके पास पैकेजेस है इस किस्म के। तो
Yes.
घर बैठे ही सब इंटरनेट पे, लैपटॉप पे अपना काम कर रहे हैं वो लोग।
Okay, good. Now we have a Sonia with us, so
Yes,
she can take care of our guest.
thank
That's
you.
really,
Thank you
really,
very
really good.
much.
One more question here. How much Indian folk arts and traditional painting have scope as in European countries? Sonia, Aspa Sharma, she is asking to you.
Sorry.
Yeah. How much Indian folk
Yes.
art and traditional paintings have a scope as in European country?
Um, the question is how much Indian work and traditional
Yeah,
work
regarding the arts and tradition, regarding the painting especially, is there any scope?
is there? Sorry,
Any scope
Sonia,
in European countries?
is
is
there any market for Indian handicraft and paintings and all? Especially the that is what
Yes.
in European countries.
yes,
That is what I think Astha wishes to ask.
yes. I think it has. It all depends on the way how you introduce and also the quality, because European Union is a market that cares about quality. So I think it will be wonderful because usually Indian things they have quality. So I'm sure that they will have wonderful market here. Yes.
Uh, I'll just like to add here, just so that to motivate the person who has asked this question.
Okay.
I belong to, I have my business where we are into Asta, we are into manufacturing and designing home and garden furniture, and we are exporting to European countries since 1998. And we are doing very well, especially with the wood, metal, and stone. And we have good number of and even architectural accents when it comes to our Indian culture, Indian design, and blending it nicely with the Scandinavian design and contemporary design. So you need to design in such a way that we have our Indianness with us. Simultaneously, we are able to take care of we can blend in their culture because they don't go out of the way. They prefer to be in the same theme. So if we understand a particular theme and we can design things, so we are doing extremely well since 1998. We are into exporting these Indian home and garden furniture and architectural accents.
Rejoice, congratulations. That was what I was telling you about the brand and the need of design. If you have a good design, you will have wonderful success in European Union. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Thank you so much.
Sonia, I have one more means a question, and can this possible next time on our next webinar? Can you give some kinds of a presentation and related to Portugal? Is it possible
To give
about
some,
the culture, traditions,
sorry?
the places?
I think Bante ji is missing his. Um, he used to travel. He's missing his travel. I know
Actually,
before lockdown,
The presentation about
he's the one who used to always be with the flight ticket. I think you're missing that now, sir.
actually, actually,
I mean,
even the foreigners, they used to tell me the flying monk, because I'm always
Yes.
flying here and there.
Yes. You are telling in next webinar to do a presentation about Portugal with the places
Yes.
in. Sure, that will be my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. We actually we want to know about your culture, traditions, the places,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yes, I will do it. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. And Gitika, sorry,
Yes.
Sonia, which language you speak in Portugal?
Sorry.
Which,
Because
which language you speak in Portugal?
Portuguese. We speak Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yes.
Yeah.
India
Okay,
has,
okay, okay.
Banteji, India has got very good influence of
Portuguese. They
Portuguese
oh,
architecture.
Absolutely.
India has got a very good
yeah, in
influence of
Goa.
Portuguese architecture. Yeah, and so that's how there is already a good relationship between the two countries from
Yes.
years together, and the way they have
Wow.
actually mixed with the Indian culture. That now it is like having, दूध में चीनी की तरह mix हो गए.
Actually. Thanks, Sonia. Thanks for your guidance and for your knowledge sharing with us. And Gitika ji, also she spent a good time with us. So thanks a lot to all of you. और किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन है क्या? Nilesh Meshram, he is asking, do Portuguese practice Buddhism?
Yes.
Sonia.
I was reading that question. A few Portuguese, they are Buddhist practitioners, but it's a
Wow.
small group because in Portugal, major of the community is Catholic. The major people in Portugal, they practice Catholicism. But yes, you have Buddhists in Portugal, and particularly in my centers, we have some Buddhist lectures and we promote some Buddhist activities. Yes.
Wow. Good. If she speak on Buddhism in Portugal or interaction with Buddhism would be much better. Okay, so on the next session, on the next webinar, Buddhism in Portugal also you can take one part in your session. Is it okay, Sonia?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
That is a huge responsibility. Buddhism in Portugal. I mean, we have the Portuguese Union, Buddhist Portuguese Union. We also, but Buddhists in Portugal is just very, very small community. I mean, not very much practitioners.
Not very much.
It will be wonderful to talk about Buddhism in Portugal for sure. Yeah.
Wow. We would love to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. So, okay. I don't find any other questions. So, Gitika ji, should we close the session now?
I'm happy to connect with Sonia ji through you again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we actually are able to work out something nice, especially when it comes to connecting with the EU with respect to work of certain women there. Yeah, it is a very audacious goal, but can be taken care of if we move step by step.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So now I'm closing the session. So before that, I'm going to unmute everyone. So you can say thanks to Gitika ma'am or as well as Sonia ma'am also. Okay. I'm going to unmute everyone now. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
अभी कल पे स्टडी कर रहे हो?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've saved a nice info.
अच्छा. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Bhante ji.
थैंक यू मैम थैंक यू बंते जी
चल यार बढ़िया है. मैं तो कह रहा यार मेरा भी एक बार को मन कर रहा था.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
ma'am. Bhante ji.
Thank you.
कल तूने मेरे मन की बात कह दी.